In this video, we are going to look at just a couple examples of solving linear equations. So first, before you get there, is a small understanding of what linear equation is. So a linear equation is an equation that has a power of 1. So we've got two examples here of a standard form. So if you notice the variable, there's no power there. The variable is just kind of on its own. So that means a power of 1. Okay. Now, essentially what we have to do when solving linear examples is we have to isolate your variable to get it completely by itself. And we're going to use our order of operations and their direct opposites to do that. So here I have x plus 3 equals negative 4. I need to get the x by itself. So I'm going to do that by subtracting 3 from both sides. When we do that, that's going to leave me with x equals negative 7, because negative 4 minus 3 is negative 7. Now we're going to look at the same thing over this other one. Here I have 9 equals x minus 12. So in this case, I have to add 12 to both sides. Therefore, 21 equals x. So as you can see, I've got just a bunch of more examples, but that's really all that we're doing. So let's go ahead and work through these. Hopefully it'll give you a better understanding of what it is that we try to accomplish when solving linear equations. So first and foremost, I have this negative 9.1x. This is multiply. The opposite of that is to divide. So I have to divide this by negative 9.1. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. So I'm going to divide this by negative 1.1. So at this point, I would go ahead and use my scientific calculator, and we are going to come up with x is equal to 12.1. Please go behind me and double check my work, but that's really all we need. Okay, x is by itself, and all my constants are by themselves. Let's look at this next one over here. So here I have fractions. So there's a couple ways that we can look at that. First, we can use your fraction rules, which would say that in order to add or subtract fractions from each other, you need to have a common denominator. So basic mathematics would say that this is a subtraction, so I have to add it. So here we're going to have x is equal to negative 7/8 plus 2/3. Now in order to combine, again, I need to have a common denominator, and so here my lowest common denominator is going to be 24. So in this case, what we would do is we would take this first fraction and we would multiply both top and bottom by 3. So this becomes negative 21 over 24. And then we're going to look at the other fraction, and so here we have to multiply top and bottom by 8. So this becomes 16 over 24. When we combine those, we end up with x being negative 5 over 24. Alright, for this next one, we have to combine my variables together. So here I've got 5n minus 4n. This is going to give me n plus 10 is equal to. And then I want to combine my constants. So negative 9 plus 7 is going to be a negative 2. Got to move the 10, and so here we get that n is negative 12. Let's try it again. Here, if I combine on my right-hand side, I'm going to end up with negative 3.6 is equal to. I have a 7y and I have a 6y, so when I combine it, I get y plus 2.1. I need to take this 2.1 and move it to the other side, so when I take this here and I shift it across my equal sign, because it's adding, I have to subtract. So in this case, we're going to get negative 5.7 is equal to y. Alright, here I have negative 4m equals 16. So I want to divide everything by the negative 4. And we end up getting m is negative 4. Now, in this case, I have this fraction here. So when we're looking at the fraction, the first thing you want to do is you want to multiply the equation by the denominator. So in doing that, we're going to end up with 2x is equal to, and then we have 12 times 5, which is going to give me 60. Then I need to divide everything by 2, and x is equal to 30. Okay, so let's just look at these last two, and then hopefully by the time we reach the end you have a fairly good understanding of how to solve linear problems. So here I've got n over 12, which again in this case, because my 12 is in the bottom, I need to multiply. So this becomes n is equal to negative 4 times 12. So in this case n is going to be negative 48. Last but not least, I have this over here, and so I have to again multiply. So I'm going to take the 8 on the bottom and I'm going to multiply. So this is going to be negative 3n is equal to my 5 over 12 times 8. So we can go ahead and simplify that, and so here we have negative 3n is equal to, when we look at it, I have 12 and 8 which do have, or an 8 which have something in common. You can pull a 4 out, and so this becomes a 3 and this becomes a 2. So then again, when we multiply straight across, we end up with 10 over 3. Now the last thing we need to do is divide the whole thing by a negative 3. So we have that n is going to be negative 10 over 9. So I hope that helped explain what it means to multiply linear equations using a single one-step equation. Again, remember, you want to isolate the variable on one side of your equation and move all of your numbers or constants over to the other. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I do hope you enjoyed, and I'll talk with you next time.